I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's.
Welcome back to It's Culture Podcast. My name is Mark Stevenson, and I just want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is It's Culture, where we talk about everything from politics to entertainment, trending topics, you name it, I cover it. And tonight, we're going to be talking about what Trump just did in Washington, D.C. The man is out here acting as if he is just a king, literally. And if you can do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get all the updates. And as I say on all my shows, I just want to thank you all for tuning in and rocking with me. So let's get into this. Earlier this week, President Trump decided that he was going to take some extraordinary steps by deploying the National Guard and federalizing the Metro Police Department of Washington, D.C. Him doing this basically it's a seldom used authority. A lot of presidents haven't used it. It's called the Home Rule Act. And I'm going to unpack tonight what this means, why it's so controversial, and how various stakeholders are reacting, right? So, President Trump declared a public safety emergency in D.C., citing rampant crime and urban disorder. He invoked Section 740 of the District of Columbia's Home Rule Act, which gives him temporary control over the city's police forces, and deployed over 800 National Guard troops to patrol the streets. And an estimate 100 to 200 would be on duty at any time under federal authority led by the AG and the U.S. Marshal Service. Excuse me. So we see what's going on. He didn't deploy the National Guard. He just did this in Los Angeles, deployed them out there. He said he's citing that there's a lot of crime going on in D.C., so this is what he has to do. And then some city officials started pushing back, mainly Mayor Bowser, and she's visited with Trump down in Mar-a-Lago. I thought that they were, at first she was for like extra troops being there because DC has a police shortage of about 3,500 y'all police that they don't have. So these people are working astronomical hours. We already know how it is with police. Every police department in major cities are having this issue where they can't get enough cops because nobody wants to be a police officer. So, so there's some legal grounds to this as well. Section 740 of the Home Rule Act, which allows the president to assume control of DC's police, can only last for 30 days. Trump got to notify the congressional leaders within 48 hours. However, Attorney General Brian Schwartz argued that the mayor and the police chief will retain control and that the actions may violate the Constitution and legal authority. Everything may involve the Constitution when it comes to Trump, right? They always say that he's violating the Constitution with every single thing that he does. Excuse me, y'all. I'm a little sick. But the reaction started pouring in swiftly. So I'm going to show y'all this video real quick, right? And then we're going to get back to talking about this because people went out to the streets and started protesting. Like I said, Mayor Bowser called this unsettling. The police union said that it was a critical stopgap, but it got to remain temporary. Like, they don't want National Guards taking over this has to be within the law. So they said 30 days, okay, 30 days. And then we know Al Sharpton had to say something. And then we had Governor Westmore kind of chime in too. And they went the race route as usual, criticizing the moves, and it's a power grab to just take over a black city, and they targeting black folks. All right. And then you had right-wing media on the other side, basically celebrating it, saying that, you know, this needs to happen in every single Democratic-run city, as if Republican-ran cities don't have crime as well. So, but I want y'all to watch this video real quick about what's going on up there with these protests.
This Thursday afternoon, it now appears that the National Guard may be deployed to Washington, D.C. longer than expected, all as part of the president's plan to fight crime. President Trump says he now plans to ask Congress for a long-term extension. Gabe Gutierrez reports.
Overnight confrontations in Washington, D.C.
Are you proud of what you're doing?
As protesters pushed back against President Trump's move to expand the National Guard and federal officer presence in the nation's capital. Last night, law enforcement from several agencies setting up one of the first checkpoints to come after the announcement, stationed in a popular downtown area. A crowd gathering in response.
Go home! Go home!
It comes as President Trump now says he plans to federalize the district's police department beyond the 30 days allowed without congressional approval.
We're going to be asking for extensions on that, long-term extensions, because you can't have 30 days. I don't want to call national emergency. If I have to, I will. But I think the Republicans in Congress will approve this pretty much unanimously.
Democrats calling the plan to extend the takeover overreach.
No f***ing way. We'll fight them tooth and nail.
Also in Washington, the National Guard. Roughly 800 have been activated this week to support law enforcement here. Among D.C. residents and visitors, reaction to the takeover is mixed.
A lot of people who live here for a long time know that it's not the picture he's painting. It's a safe place.
My concern is that the people that are causing harm to other people here in Washington are not being punished.
All right, y'all. So we see what's going on. Federal law agents, DEA, FBI, ICE, you name it. They all are patrolling popular areas like the National Mall and the Navy Yard. They got checkpoints set up. That was kind of causing some detention. Some citizens have confronted these agents. One incident involved a Department of Justice employee arrested for assaulting an officer with a sandwich. It's crazy. It's crazy. They got curfews. They trying to tighten it up, especially for minors. Because a lot of the stuff they looking at is like a lot of the juveniles, you know, they stealing cars and doing all these things. So they have these checkpoints set up, and some people are saying that this might be violating people's civil liberties. But when it comes to the curfews, juveniles should be inside the house. I agree with that. They shouldn't be out all nights, all times of night unless they working. But they should be in the house getting ready for school and learning stuff. This is the problem with our society now, that there's no accountability for the children. You know, they just expect these kids to just be able to just walk around and just do what the hell they want to do all day long, all night. And for some reason, particularly with black people, and it's like we don't want accountability for nothing. Like we complain about stuff when we get targeted, which some of these stuff in DC right now, I will say these cops are targeting black folks. And that needs to stop, because that's not what this should be. But if you're going to be there in DC doing this and trying to stop crime, then go fight the crime. But just pulling people over, doing stop and frisk and all that nonsense, no, absolutely not. So we had a lady from The Guardian. Her name is Rebecca Sonat. She described the federal takeover as a hypocritical authoritarian escalation aimed at distracting from scandals and eroding democracy norms. mainly because she's talking about like January 6th, the insurrection. They're talking about, he's trying to do this because the Epstein case and the files and where the files at, and his name is all in the files, and he's trying to do some things. But there has been this push between DC and Trump for a while. Even when he was the president the first time, him and Mayor Bowser, they had the issues then. So in this regards, it seems like Trump is trying to take over DC, and Mayor Bowser has said this is why this need to be the 51st state. So I'm gonna be curious to see what goes on with that part. But here's what's got to happen next, right? So Trump did this on August 11th, excuse me. So he has 30 days. Congressional approval is going to be required to extend it and take this curfew past 30 days. Now, we already heard from Chuck Schumer. Y'all saw him in the video. He said, ain't no effing way. They're going to fight tooth and nail. DC itself may pursue some legal challenges, arguing that the move is unconstitutional and exceeds permissible authority. We got these public protests going on. And they say that this is federal overreach, especially in Democratic-ran cities. So I just don't get it. It's a lot of crime going on in these cities, and yet it's still, they want to say that this is overreach. But Trump did invoke this rule, this emergency power to seize control of the DC Police Department and deploy National Guard. But he's saying that this is going to tackle the rise in crime. Now, DC crime stats show a low rate. And some people say this might be a political power play. Other people are arguing that DC's not reporting everything because they're not reporting the juvenile crime. We don't never, as citizens, get the full truth when it comes to any damn thing, to be perfectly honest. I haven't lived in the DC area in a long time. But I will say that the city has changed a lot since when I was there in the early 2000s. It used to be Chocolate City. Now, I don't know what you could consider it now. So I doubt that the crime is through the roof in DC like that. I know that, you're not going to rid anything of crime because, you have to have people out basically just patrolling every single day in every single neighborhood and just trying to stop illegal stuff. But it's not going to stop crime from happening. People are going to commit crimes. Now, if we're trying to lower the rates, then that's fine. What is it? What's the crime rate in DC? Is it theft? Is it murder? Is it aggravated assaults? What is it? But the crime statistics are low, and actually a lot of the cities, the crime statistics are trending on the lower part. If you look at Camden, New Jersey, their murder rate has went down significantly. Baltimore, the city right adjacent to DC, crime is down in Baltimore. So I guess in a sense, we got to kind of see how should DC limit autonomy be balanced against federal concerns for public safety? Because DC is in a situation where, President Trump can basically take it over because of the Home Rule Act. So basically, should he be doing that? Should President Trump be doing this? Does anybody really know? I love for people from DC to chime in into my comment section. Let me know what is going on in DC that made Trump do this. Do y'all think that this was just some smoke and mirrors to try to get people not to talk about the Epstein files no more? Because that's really what I think it is. I don't think this the crime rate in DC. I don't think it's that bad. I go to when I'm in DC, I don't see the crime like that. I don't. Now, what happens at night, I don't know, but because I'm not hanging out in the middle of the night when I'm there. But what I will say is it's mighty funny that all of this is going on right when people are asking for them Epstein files. Where the files at? And all of a sudden, this is the classic diversion stuff. This happens all the time in politics for Republicans and Democrats. Every single time that there's a scandal going on, they try to point the finger at somebody else or try to deflect and do something. This is the problem with our political system, and this is why a lot of people, particularly like me, are fed up with what goes on in D.C. Like, for real. Because we never get nothing solved. We don't know what our government is involved in because everything is top secret. And it's absolutely crazy to think that we can just continue to get gaslit like this. And some of y'all gonna believe whatever y'all hear in the news. Whatever Fox News tell you, you're gonna believe it. Whatever CNN tell you, you're gonna believe it. You're not doing your own research. You're not checking this, figure out stuff on your own. You just go with the flow. This is why our country is in hell now. So my DC peeps, chime in the comments. Let me know what's really going on in DC. I think that this is a plot to stay away from the Epstein stuff, but I also see that a lot of black folks are being targeted, and that stop and frisk stuff. So y'all let me know. I'll be eager to hear your comments. Like I said at the beginning, like, share, and subscribe to the video. Until next time, Culture Nation, let's keep it culture.